So, hey there, Fashion Magazine. We are here today with Glaudi at the Glaudi House, Bridal House with Johana Hernandez.
Hi, guys.
Hi, we're so glad to have you. We're out here in, this is Downey.
The city of Downey.
Right? City of Downey. Gorgeous shop, gorgeous gowns, and we have the girls here from Fashion. Say hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hi. So we're just here talking. We've been already having a really good time, and so we just wanted to hear a little bit from Johana. This woman has done amazing things in such a short amount of time. So tell us about how you got started with designing, first of all.
When I started, and actually, I don't even know how I started. I just know it came from my family. Like, my grandmother was a designer in El Salvador, but she passed away with breast cancer before I met her. My parents, they learned how to sew through my grandmother. So when they came to the U.S., they started working in sweatshops, sewing and doing all of that. So I was always around it, but I was really around it behind the scenes. Like, I was never in the glamour side of it.
Right.
And but I remember seeing my parents work so hard, and they always were happy. Like, they always had like a face of joy, even though they had jobs that were super humble, that paid like nothing.
Yeah.
And I think I love that my parents taught me that, to like be happy and be grateful for everything you have.
Yeah.
Because their small beginnings made me like who I am now.
Yes.
And at 18, I became a head designer at a big company. When I was interviewed for another company, and they were like, you should be a designer. I was like, oh, really? And I got the job. I was telling the girls that I didn't even know I was going to get paid, and I did. And so it was really cool. Like, it was just really good how God like used what I thought was like, you know, sad at the time, because I was like, oh, my parents don't make a lot of money, like they're working in these factories, but that like created me, because of them I was able to know how to sew. They were sewing for Calvin Klein and Guess at the time, and I started working for denim companies, so they were sewing for denim companies when I was a little girl, so I understood all that because of them. So just know that wherever you are in life right now, like whether you have your parents or you have a job that's not like so prestigious and like glamorous, know that God's preparing you through that moment, and to appreciate where you are at and be present. Because if I wasn't present, enjoying being around those factories, asking my parents like, what are you doing, I wouldn't have had my career, because I learned from just enjoying what we had at the moment, not like looking to the right or to the left what other people have, but focusing what I have. Like,
that's so
good. Being present, you know?
Yes. And I love that. That's one of the things that like Fashion really highlights, is we want people or women to know like it's who you are. You already have it inside you.
Yeah.
I think like with society, we tend to like say, oh, this is what she has, or this is how she looks, or she's this size, or she has that kind of nose. And it's like, no, you're fashioned. You've already been fashioned.
Yeah.
And we love that whole idea of how the, you know, in the word or in Psalms, it talks about how you are fashioned in your mother's womb, yet unformed. So you have everything that you need. It's already in you.
Yeah.
And we do tend to look to this person and that person, when really all the joy and everything that you need is just right inside you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love that you said that.
Yeah.
So you were talking a little bit before the podcast how and I just thought this was so commendable. You were just talking about how you went for this job, and you were like, I don't even really know half of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You did have qualifications. You did the work to get there. But talk a little bit about that, because I think there's probably a lot of us that could feel we're in that same category. Like, I'm doing something that I don't really know I'm fully qualified to do.
I think, like, I was telling, you know, the girls also that I went to a trip this week on Monday and Tuesday to Yosemite, you know, out in the mountains. And I wanted to go just to focus on God. I took my Bible, I took my journal, and I was like, I just want to hear God, because I feel like I don't never stop working when I'm here. Even on my days off, I work, because it's like my company, it's my passion, like it's my life, you know, my lifestyle. It's not like a job. So I left because I had told God, look, if these two good things happen, I will go. And then I almost felt like not going, because it's scary. It's 7 hours away. It's in the dark, in the woods. And my mom came with me. Thank God I did not do it alone, because I would have like been so scared. But the point of the story is that out there, I feel like God told me, like, you have to be excellent at everything. You have to, like, you know, dress well. Like, you don't need a lot of money to dress well. You just have to know how to be clean. Like, you know, brush your hair, do your makeup.
Yeah.
Like, obviously don't be like a drag queen, but like just be like put together,
Yeah.
you know, be proper, come on time for work, come 10 minutes early if you have to, you know, be on time, be on point, like water your grass, like paint your room fresh, make everything pretty and fresh, because you have to show God through you. So I think for me, like in that interview that I got when I was 18, I felt like I've always loved to be, they nicknamed me diva. I'm not a diva, I promise, but like I always liked, you know, having my hair done. I went to beauty school. I didn't graduate beauty school, but I went to beauty school. So beauty school, I finished everything. I just didn't pass the scientific one. I passed the practical. Just so you guys know. But the point is that I was 18 and I was like with my hair big and like my makeup, my pretty clothes, my cute clothes, and I walked into that interview and they just felt like they could trust me with that job because I looked the part and I had film behind me that I was going to school, but I didn't really have much experience. It's just about how confident I was and how I was speaking to them and how I was like, so like they believed in me, you know?
Yeah.
And then I left the interview and I was like, I have no clue I'm going to do this job, but I got the job. You know what I mean? So like, I just think like there's a lot of times where we are the ones that stop ourselves from going like to where we're supposed to be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, I just did a TV show called The Fashion Hero in Canada, and this time I was a judge. 3 years ago, I did a TV show on NBC Fashion Star, and I was with Nicole Richie, was my mentor. I was with Jessica Simpson, John Barbados, and in that show, I was in 150 countries, and I literally had to walk in, make a line, and audition for the show. I had come from China from work, and I auditioned for the show, made a line in San Francisco in Macy's. And God is so crazy how He works that I remember that time, I dressed the part. I was dressing a little crazy back then. If you guys Google me, like in 2013, I wore glasses and short hair. Like I looked like a little character.
Well,
but that was like the time. That was like what I was back then. Now I grew up. I know. Now I grew up. But the point of the story is that like I remember I looked like this crazy designer, very creative, and I remember I would stay till like 5 a.m. filling out the in the interview. What is it called? Like when you fill out a form, the application. And I stayed up till 5 a.m. I was crying. I was like, God, if I make it to the show, this means I'm a designer. If I don't, that means I shouldn't be a designer. And then I was just like, God, like I always cry over things when it's really intense.
Yeah.
You know, and I push myself. You push yourself through fear. And I remember I was looking for a taxi and there was no taxis. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. So I got a limo, you know? And I arrived in a limo. And then when I arrived, everyone's looking at me like, who is this girl? You know? But I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do it on purpose, but God's already like doing things, you know what I mean?
I need to do that.
And they didn't charge me extra for the limo either. Like they were just like, sorry, can we just send you a limo? And I was like, dude, that's from God. You know what I mean? So I get there, all the reporters, there was like 2 reporters from different networks. They're like, oh my gosh, can we interview you? Why are you here? Like, because they were interviewing like the potential designers that want to be in the show because it's like a cool story. And I was like, please, no cameras, because like I honestly sounds cheesy, but I really was like no cameras because I had a job, a designer for 7 Jeans at the moment, so I didn't want them to see that I was getting interviewed, and because it would be a conflict of interest, you know. So it seemed diva at the moment, but reality, I was just really trying to protect my work.
Right.
And then when I got there, like I remember I was looking at everyone and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like starting to like feel like intimidated because there's beautiful girls around me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't look like that. Oh, I don't look like that. But that was just like the devil, you know? Yes. And then when I got onto like the main thing where they started interviewing me, all the producers like rushed towards me because I was real about my story. Yes. Like I was like, you know what guys, like I grew up in Compton, you know, I did this, my parents worked in factories, I got this job because I feel like it's all God, because honestly like my parents taught me this and I don't really have experience, but like I've dressed all these celebrities, and then like everyone rushed towards me. And then I like got called right away for like 3 other interviews, but I would throw out my heart in the interviews. Like I would cry, but not because I was acting, because it was real. I was like, where I worked so hard, and I was like, I worked so hard, like this is like an opportunity of a lifetime, you know, like I was just like really intense. But I just feel like, again, to the point of the story is like I look the part. Like I looked like this crazy designer with my glasses, with my hair done, with my sparkly dress. I would wear sparkly clothes. That's why I have a lot of sparkly clothes. I would wear a lot of sparkly clothes. Like I just wasn't afraid to be different and not blend in. That's and so God like was giving me so much favor by being real with my story, by giving me that limo. You know what I mean? Like seriously.
Feeling good.
Getting out of that limo over there.
So like with life, I feel like you guys should just like honestly like just accept the gifts that God gives you. Like if God sends you a limo and there's no car, take that limo. You know what I mean? Like,
and don't downplay it.
And just be open to like loving people, loving life, and just being open to not being afraid to have like friends that are different from you, friends that are like different ages, different races. Like it's just, if you open that, like it's just like this big world that's so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like don't be in the bubble.
Yeah. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier, and Zoe had mentioned that, you know, just some of the fear, even in you maybe trying to take this next step. What would you say to somebody or to some of the listeners that would be like, I have a dream to do this or that, and yet that the fear and the I can't make it or I won't ever become that? What would you say to that person?
I think you just need to go and pray and open your Bible and read it and see what God has to tell you. Because I always, like, I remember my lowest points, I remember reading my Bible and crying and telling God, like, just tell me what to do, like, guide me. And he would, like, tell me something. Like, he would, like, tell me something in his word. I remember when I got nominated to be part of the 25 Most Powerful Women on People magazine, like, I was crying in my bed, reading my Bible, and I was telling my friend, like, I really don't want to be in the spotlight anymore. Like, I just feel like it's empty for me. Like, I want to have purpose, because I was on TV a lot and I did a lot of things, but I felt like it wasn't, like, now, like I feel like I use my boutique to have Bible studies. I pray for the brides with my brother to make sure their marriages last. If you're buying a dress for me, like, I'll make sure it looks so good on you, so you, like, are, like, the best dressed. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really care. As before, it was just, like, I cared a lot before, but I think now everything has God in the center. So I just think, like, whatever your dream is, make sure it has God in the center, because if it doesn't have God in the center, it's gonna just burn you out, because it's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? But if God's in the center of it, like, it will. Think about, what's the purpose of it, how is it going to change the world, does God want me to do this, how is it going to share God's word, like those things, you know. Like, I feel like so confident in my path right now, and I'm able to say no to a lot of things and say yes to the things, and sometimes I'm like, I see all these events that I could go to, and I always, like, say, you know what, Johana, it's more important for me to rest because tomorrow I have a long day than for me to be at every event. So just know that God's going to give you favor when you, like, put him first. And the same way, like, I remember when I was reading that Bible and they nominated me for 25 Most Powerful Latinas, like, now that I think about it, like, now I'm like, if I would get that, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, I'm excited. But before, I was like, why? Like, I really don't want to be in the spotlight. But, like, I feel like God sees your heart, and God knew that my heart wasn't about, like, putting myself out there. He was like, damn, this girl, like, doesn't even care about that. Like, I'm giving her this and she's, like, crying. Why is she on it? You know? But now I'm like, oh my gosh, God is so good that you did that, you know? And I remember that same week I got nominated for Latina Magazine 30 Favorite Stars Under 30, where Selena Gomez was in it, Demi Lovato, and I was in it. And I was like, really?
She is?
Yeah.
What
she's
is
mixed.
She? Oh.
I don't know. She's mixed though. She's in there.
It's all about being mixed.
It's all about us right now.
So so I just think, like, you know, like, to find your purpose in life, you have the right path. Just put God in the middle and see, like, how is this job gonna give me favor because I'm doing something to glorify God? Like, how is this purposeful? Like, do I see myself doing this all my life? Do I see myself? And you always have to grow. So I never knew I would design bridal. I've never been married. You know what I mean? It's like, I've never was a girl that dreamed about getting married. You know I want to get married, but it's not like bridal was, like, my thing. And now that I started, I got one client, and I got another one, and another one, and another one. And I'm like, ooh, I'm good at this. I really like this. So you just have to be open to whatever opportunities God gives you. And then you're going to start going to, like, your niche. But you're going to, like, make a lot of mistakes in the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I worked designing for other companies that were just t-shirts and jeans and basic clothes, and I'm like, I'm not basic. Just kidding. But I was, like, happy because it was a good job and it was corporate. For this. But seriously, too sparkly for that. I was way too sparkly for that. And but I think it's just about you just trying things out, and just don't be. I mean, it's okay. I'm afraid all the time. But I just go past the fear. You know.
You push yourself.
Yeah, a lot.
That's so important. I think that a lot of people probably that have made it past wherever, you know, a place that they never thought they would be, they probably would all say the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
like, I'm having a lot of fun.
At some point.
Yeah. yeah, and I'm having a lot of fun being uncomfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, like, doing this and doing that. Like, I remember, like, for instance, my friend Brooke, like, I'm friends with Brooke Hogan, and we were on a TV show together. She invited me to go out with her and some friends, and I was just, like, thinking, like, oh, my God. Like, it was to meet some people, and I was like, why don't you invite, like, I'm, like, so little. Like, you guys are giant models. Like, why would I go? And then I went, and we had, like, the best time ever. But I was just, like, sometimes you think, like, you're not good enough, but you are good enough.
That's
like,
so
you know what I mean?
good.
You have to see, like, the beauty in you and the talents in you. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good message.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole other podcast. No,
I
seriously.
know.
So true, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've never been married. Are you dating anyone? No?
Oh, gosh. Should I talk about love?
Yes, talk about it.
Oh, girl. Let's see how much time I have, because, you know, this just takes time.
So many
okay.
guys.
Okay. This is a list of 100 guys I've dated. Just kidding. No. Okay, so when it comes to love, I love love.
Yes.
Like, that's why I have a bridal store. Okay, like, I love listening about. You too?
Yes, I'm infatuated with it, but it's not. I don't know.
And you're single too, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Kind of?
Kind of. It's complicated.
Are we all
Oh,
single?
God.
Yeah. You're single. I'm single.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all single.
But you're complicated, so
I'm complicated. Going to be single, I think.
so you're with someone right now?
Technically, no, but
They're
yes.
on a break.
We're on a break. There you go. But it's like, I don't know if I'm going to end up being with him in the end or not.
How long have you guys dated?
4 months. So
Oh, so it's
just-
fresh.
It's fresh, yeah, but it's just, yeah. It's like, he needs to focus on himself right now, and I need to focus on me, and it's like...
That's how I felt.
You know, and I'm like, I really like him. He's a great guy, like, great guy. And I see so much, like, in him that I love, and I'm just like, but I'm afraid to lose that because I think I won't get it, but I know that's just a lie that, you know, if he's not for me, God's going to give me someone even better. I know that's a lie, but it's just like I see that right in front of me. I'm like, I don't want to lose it. So it's like hard, you know? Like, I want to do me, but then again, like, I want him on the side, you know? But
you have to just follow God, because I feel like
Yeah.
I was in a 9-year relationship, like, since I was 18. Yeah. But he was awesome. He's a great guy. Like, I have nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out between him and I, but I only dated him for 9 years, and then I had another boyfriend for like 6 months before that, because I was really young. And both of them, the reason why I broke up with both of them was because I was unequally yoked. One was Jewish and one was Catholic. But God was like telling me through so many signs. Like, I would meet someone that was like, oh, I'm married, I'm Catholic, and this person's, my husband's Jewish, and it's just so hard. And then I would see, like, I saw like God's Not Dead, where like they're talking about unequally yoked. And then I would like read the Bible, and it would tell me something that my brother was going through something, and like all these signs that I felt like sick. I felt like my brain was gonna explode. And then this girl at church was like, hey, are you still with your boyfriend? Because I dreamed that you guys broke up. And I was like, I can't anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And then like I would go to like retreats, and like God would be like, okay, this is a purity, and this is what you do. And I'm just like, gosh, God, like I know what you're trying to tell me. And then to the point where I got sick. I was anemic because of certain reasons. I was so stressed, and it was just bad. Like I was just sick, like because I was just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like I just
I've been so sick these past 3 months. Like, everyone's like, what's wrong? Like,
he's not good for you.
depressed.
Yeah. Like, and this guy's like so good. Like, he
Yeah.
is amazing. Like, I mean, I have nothing bad to say about
Yeah.
him. You know, but and he's so hot too. And I'm just like,
I know.
well, to me, he was hot. You know, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, God, like I just felt like I needed to end it, you know? And because he wasn't, like, the thing that I asked him at the end was, like, if I were to be a pastor, would you be okay with it? And he told me he wasn't. And when I let go of him, I felt like something, like, left my shoulders, a heavy weight, and I was able to smile and be really happy. But I have been single now for 3 years, and it hasn't been easy, because I've never been single, you know? Like, I was with someone for 9 years. But I've been having so much fun. You know what I mean? Like, I am so happy. I'm having so much fun. Like, I'm traveling everywhere, and I'm having fun. I'm making new friends. I haven't dated anyone seriously, but and I feel like I've met a few Christian boys, not a lot, maybe like 2 in 3 years. That's how bad it is. They haven't worked out. Yeah, so like, and then sometimes I feel like giving up, because I want a Christian man, like, and not just a Christian man, like, he has to be like a man of God, like on fire.
I read something on that on Facebook. It was like the difference between Christian boys and godly men. Like, godly men, you see them always pursuing them, and then Christian boys are like, like they'll do everything, like they'll open the door for you and like they'll like give you whatever you want, but like their heart isn't all with God, and they're not always like, they're not focusing on God. They don't have him as the center.
And then sometimes I feel like I've thought like, okay, so am I not Christian enough that I can attract these Christian men? Because I feel like I love Jesus.
Yeah. Right? I see some guys that are super like religious, and I'm like, oh, like I don't want a religious guy. I want someone that's like me.
Yeah.
Be like Jesus. Me, but like I don't know, like it's just it's so hard.
But I've had so many successful. I mean, I designed bridal, and all like I have Jessica Hoffman, who's marrying her boyfriend, who's her fiance now, and they've kissed for the first time after 6 months.
Aww.
You know, and when they got engaged, and like they really got to know each other. And then I had my other two friends, Kathy. Like I remember I was in China with her, and she was telling me, "Oh, I really like this guy, but I don't think he likes me." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, maybe you should move on or whatever." And then that's her fiance now, and he's like on fire for Jesus, and she thought like he wasn't really into her, but she kind of. And then like there's another friend who's
Hillsong LA.
Hey, I've been in Hillsong.
Hillsong LA. My number is
so long story short is that like God's putting examples of girls that have gotten married and have like been happy and have waited and they have Christian men, but they had to be patient, and they had to kind of like I feel like what God's telling me is be patient, get closer to me, fall in love with me. That's you know what I mean? And like, and just be cool and happy and be open, and don't be all like mean and like businesswoman crazy. Like I always, because I'm a businesswoman, you know, like but I always try to like get that side off of me. I'm like, no more corporate world. I want to be happy, and you have to be happy with yourself before you meet someone, you know. So I feel like God's telling me that, and I see my friends happily getting married, and they're marrying Christian guys, but they were on fire for God. Like they were in church, they were like doing ministry, they were doing all that stuff. So I feel like in order for me to meet someone like that I want for God, I have to become that person.
Yes, right.
So I'm just like, am I not there yet? so I think like for now, like I'm not dating anyone at the moment, and I just finished a 6-month fast, and in that 6-month dating fast, it was so awesome. I was able to get a new TV show. I built my store. I was able to start working out a lot and just reading a lot, just time for myself.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's good when you don't focus on all these guys, because I feel like right now, like there's a lot of boys that just want to waste your time. Like they just want to flirt with you and make you feel like time pretty, wasters. But they don't want.
You wasted.
We don't
got
time for time wasters.
I know.
But then there's those like my friends, like they just knew, you know, they just kind of like it just happened and it was right. And another thing is that I noticed from their relationships, they got to know these guys like their friends, and they were not like promiscuous or getting hot and heavy like quick. And I think that's how they were able to fall in love with each other's heart before falling in love with like just lust. So for me, it's like for me to push myself to talk to someone and get to know someone without knowing that they like me and without knowing that like they're interested is like the challenge. Like God's like working in my life to make sure like, okay, Johana, like you have to just be friends with people right now, and you have to love them as a person, love them, love their heart, and then I will reveal to you who your husband is. And I'm just like, geez, I just want it now. You know? Why can't he just propose as soon as we say hi?
Can you just like shine a light on me, Lord?
But
when he looks at me.
What really helps me too is knowing that God put that desire in our hearts to get married, and you know, when you're seeking the kingdom of God first, he'll put it, because he's not dumb. God knows he put that desire that we want to get married, but he's like working on us, and it's just so beautiful that he put those urges for us to want to be married and to do ministry together. You know, it says two under the cover is better than one. So it just makes me more like, if he created this whole earth, I know he ordained a man for me to do ministry. And so that's helped me. That's helped me, because
that is so good.
It's like it gets tough when people ask you, "Are you single? Are you single?" And then you feel like, man, like dummy.
Yes.
And then my friends tell me, because all my friends are Christian, they tell me like, so why wouldn't you date a guy who's not Christian? And I'm like, I want my kids to be Christian, and I want to be like in ministry, and I want to like not like go to church together, and I want like you know, like not everyone understands that, so it's hard to explain. And then my friends are like, well, maybe like you're gonna be only abstinent until you meet the right guy, then you'll do it. And I'm like, no, like you don't understand, like the right guy is gonna wait. And I was talking to my brother the other night, and I was like, Edwin, when like it seems like every time I tell someone that I'm talking to, getting to know, to like I'm waiting to like for marriage, like they just disappear. And he's like, well, they're just not the right one.
Right.
And I'm like, that's crazy though, because you seem pretty strong.
That's because he wouldn't want to marry me. Look at me.
So when it comes to love right now, I'm honestly just falling in love with God and having fun and meeting new people, being open to becoming friends with everyone. And I'm just like, damn, that's so hard.
Yeah. No, for real. Because I was literally thinking, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why hasn't relationships worked
Everyone
out?
wants things
right there.
Right like
Yeah.
that.
So
And
you
it's
rush
not like
everything.
that. Exactly. You rush into things, and that's how relationships get
Screw up.
sticky, and it just doesn't end up working out.
And you don't
Right.
like really see the person for who they are, because like there's this grandma on Facebook that was going off, and she was like, once like you guys just get like physical right away, it's just sex, and that's totally a blinder. Like even in school they said like once your hormones and everything start going, it's literally like a drug that's all like
You think
your
about.
your mind just switches, like you can't help it. But that's how we were made. Like that's not a bad thing.
That's why we
So-
have to control ourselves to stay pure, because once
Yes.
like you open that door, it just
yeah,
it's like a floodgates
Yeah.
of like lust.
Exactly.
You know?
It's
Like
hard.
it's like you're working so hard for this, and then it's
Yes.
like sometimes I'll be like, I had dreams, and I'm like, okay, God, like why am I having that damn dream? That is not of you. Like
no
control me. So
yeah.
then I'll start reading my Bible, putting worship music on, like to feed. You have to feed yourself every day with the
Yeah.
Word and with worship music, and just with people that are doing the same life with
Yeah.
you, because then you'll fall. You know,
Yeah.
you'll fall into sin. And the thing is, like, I'm just so afraid that I've worked so hard to get here, and
Yes.
to just throw it all away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
You know?
Jacob and Esau, it's like he's like, I'm hungry and I'm hungry now, and so he was willing to give up his birthright for a bowl of soup. You
Imagine.
know? Not worth it. But yet he got what he want in that instant for a bowl of soup.
Some Chef Boyardee.
Yeah,
And
cup of
then,
noodles.
and then there goes his birthright.
Yeah.
You know, and that's heartbreaking. You know, when you read that, it's like, oh, let that not ever be me.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, please.
But yeah, guys, that's pretty much my whole life. Thank you for just exposing me like that, for making me feel comfortable.
We're the same. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel naked. Just kidding.
Everyone can see.
Put some clothes on.
No, it's been good.
Inspirable, you know.
No, for real.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I feel like God brought you into my life. You're going through everything. I'm like,
I
can help you
literally
with.
like tell me more about your life so I know what to do, because I'm like I have to find a good church, and then I have to like
Just go to plant yourself on the church. Yeah. So Sunday we're going to Hillsong, guys.
yeah.
Come.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
So,
down.
and just remember, God wants you to take you to big places, and some people aren't meant to be with you in those new
good.
places. Like, I feel like I wouldn't to have done all of this if I was still with that person, even though that person's so good, because I would have been comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
You know?
And also as
good word.
women, I feel like when we're with someone, we tend to like
Be comfortable.
and we put our standards lower to meet where they are. So we're like, oh well, I mean, I'll do this job instead because we'll be able to be together because I could get a job here and he's over here or whatever,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So like I don't know. That's another thing. Like I'm kind of like I want to know what I want to do and I want to stick with it. Like I don't want to depend on. I don't want to like change my stuff like what I really want to do for a guy. But then again, it is something I want, so it's like I don't want to feel like I'm putting that on the back burner, like a relationship, because I love that. That's something that I want, but it's like, I guess me first, my relationship with God, where He wants to take me first. So
And
it's
find out what
That's most important.
that's more exactly. So I need to prioritize that first. Like that's obvious. Like duh, you need to do that. So
if it's not comfortable, it doesn't feel good. It's not.
him.
Yeah.
It's not him. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
You guys don't have to leave. You guys are so
Oh,
you're like,
We're like, oh,
Bye.
goodbye.
I'm so
Or did you still have to say goodbye to the podcast?
Oh yeah. Bye podcast. Wait, where am I?
Well, so listeners, it looks like a couple of things are happening. We're getting really excited about all of the gowns and the.
We're still under.
Yeah, so we're gonna head out, but before we leave, we do want to. Okay, so how can they find you? How can someone find you online?
So follow me. You can find me online to see my collection at www.glaudicollection.com.
Okay.
It's GLAUDI collection.com. Or you can follow me also on social media on Instagram at Glaudi Collection or Glaudi Bridal for all my lovely brides.
Love.
And book appointments through info@glaudicollection.com. You can also come to my store, which is in Downey at 8808 Imperial Highway in Downey, California, and you just make an appointment, or you can also walk in, but it's better for you to make an appointment just so I can meet you and get to like work with you and make you beautiful in your perfect gown.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, when I get married, this will be the first stop.
Yay! Everyone!
I'm like, this is my first stop.
Yay.
Thank you so much for being with us today. It's been
Thank
so
you.
much fun, and we hope to have you back again.
Thank you so much.
We want to have you back.
Yay.
Yay. Until next time, remember, you are amazing and fashioned to be exactly who you already are. We love you, and we can't wait to talk to you soon.